Do not worry, Blue. I have a very good form of hydration right here. Let's turn on the music a little bit. Oh, hello. Oh, hi. You can place for chat to sit. Hold on. Set you over there for a second. And then bring you back. Oh, hey. Hold on. Move myself. God, I'm in a little bit of an awkward position. Give me a moment. There we go. Alright. Hello. Hello. Hi. Oh, hey. I have my arm reaching behind me to move my mouse. Oh, hi. Oh, hey. Oh, hi. Over here. Oh, hi. Oh, hey. Being boozled right now. I can't believe you. I can't believe you, Blue. I can't believe you. Can't believe you do this to me. Where's my Vtuber? It's behind me. It's also behind me. Why is everything behind me? Take my pain. No, it's your pain. I'm not in the business of taking other people's pain. What bean did we get? What bean did we get? Let's see. We found a green one. Let's see. There it is. It's a green one. Ah, hanging with a head hat. Hand cam, yes! It's grass, by the way. The green one was grass. Yes, we're painting a mini today. We have a little, so you can see my lovely hands. You can see my lovely fingers, and the whole thing shake a little bit because it's precariously placed. You also drink Dr. Pepper? Who doesn't drink Dr. Pepper? It's like the second most popular drink in the country. Dr. Pepper cult, it's the best cult to be in. So, today, I am going to be painting some Chaos Space Marine miniatures, yes. My friends are going to be playing 7th edition Warhammer, so I decided that to get back in the spirit of things, I'd paint some minis. And I printed out some new ones too, as you can see. This one's name is Jonathan. He seems like a Jonathan to me. You love the googly eyes? I too love the googly eyes. They're the best. He's currently running from the Imperium for tax evasion. And he has now decided to be possessed by a demon. As you do when you're avoiding paying your taxes. Thank you for the alert, Blue. So yes, I am going to paint these miniatures. I have a couple different ideas of what I want to do for them. Mainly it's going to be around the Crimson Slaughter. The Crimson Slaughter, I'm going to bring my mic a little closer. Hold on, it's a little far away from me. It's a little away from me. You can tell that I'm looking over to the right so much because that's where everything is. Everything's to my right. Bring this mic a little closer. There we go. Yes, everything's to my right now, right? I have to look over here. I have to observe over here. I have to make this green stuff. Squish, squish, squish. But yes, it's going to be around the Crimson Slaughter, which is a very red and gold color scheme. A red and brass, maybe. They're more pretty bright. They're pretty brightly, from what I can see from the artwork. They're very bright red. And very illustrious gold. Very lustrous gold. Lustering. Yes, very lustrous. But yeah, I've been reading a ton of 7th edition stuff, right? And I've been learning a lot of things I don't remember being in 7th edition. I guess I didn't see, I mean, 7th edition was also when Forge World was still a thing, which Games Workshop hadn't rolled up into its own company yet, so Forge World had a bunch of its own stuff. For instance, Dark Harvest. I didn't know what that was. But apparently it's a, Imperial Armament Book 12 had the Minotaurs in it, which I knew about the Minotaur, Space Marine chapter. The Space Marine chapter of the Minotaurs, they're very They're a very well-known chapter of Adeptus Astartes. People really love them since the Badab Wars. Since they were introduced in the Badab Wars. The Badab. I always fucking roll through the similar syllables of Badab, and it always sounds fucking weird when I say, ah yes, the Badab War, and I sit there and think about it. Yeah, of course everyone knows what the Badab War is. Everyone knows about the Badab. I won't get into what the Badab War is. That's a long fucking story. But, point is, the Minotaurs were heavily involved in that. And they were a very popular chapter. Even though people didn't really get to play them because they were Forge World, and Forge World, pretty much like Games Workshop now, are incredibly expensive. Getting into Forge World stuff is incredibly expensive. I'm also going to put some green stuff, if you look closely. Because I 3D printed these models. You can see these little holes there. These holes are for draining liquids. I really should have put these on there before I primed these models, but that is foresight, and we don't have that here. So we're just going to mash some green stuff on there. Just flatten it down. Just going to do something like this, and we're just going to paint over it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No one will notice. No one will notice anything. We will just not put that happy little green stuff there, and it's just it's a secret between you and I that there's green stuff there. But anyway, in my searchings, right? I'm going through all the different old edition books. I should point out that 7th edition was between the years of 2013 to 2015. So 7th edition was around for a long fucking time. This was around to the point where Games Workshop had like really wide periods of when the edition was happening. It took most editions happening for Zumi. There she is, reaching around the corner like the gremlin she is. Hi, Zumi. Hi, Zumi. Are you excited for your debut? That I reposted? Yeah, I am painting today, yes. Well, first I'm slapping on some green stuff on these guys. I forgot to cover up the little holes. Yes, I'm scared. You don't be scared. You'll be fine. You've already streamed several times. You already streamed several times. You got this. You got this. I believe in you. Right now, we're just filling up some green stuff while I give people the lowdown on what how I'm painting these, and the lore, the Warhammer lore. I got basically just gonna put some green stuff here, put some green stuff there, and we're gonna paint over it. True, but it's different. It's not different. You got it. You got it. You just gotta be calm. Be calm, Zumi. Uh-oh, better scatter. Oh no, I've already locked the door. Just lore time. It's lore time, you little rat. Sit down. But did you print the figures? Yes, I did. All of these are 3D printed miniatures. I have one over here that's it hasn't been primed yet. See, I think it's this model right here. See, it's this model that's been primed, and then this model that hasn't been primed. They're 3D printed from my 3D printer, and they look really good. They look very good. They're very... The Rat Dad does that stuff. Does your Rat Dad print Warhammer miniatures? Sumi, I have to say, you gotta get your dad on stream if he does Warhammer miniatures. We can nerd out. It'll be great. I want to force him to paint the ones that he made for me, but he's a poo-poo about it. He prints a lot? Oh my. Does he print you Warhammer stuff? You mentioned that. Zumi never mentioned she plays Warhammer. Now, how am I gonna get this? Right there. It's right behind his damn backwards knee joint. Swish, 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 swish. Come on. I need something like small to get in there. What do I got? Spoon? Spoon's not small enough. Yeah, your Crozius will do. Oh, okay. Here, your Crozius will do. Squish, 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 squish. Squish, squish. Nope, that didn't work. Nope, the Crozius didn't work. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Using another finger. I use the figures to fix the figures. Just use the end of the paintbrush. No, it's too big. It doesn't. It's as big as my finger. Maybe this one will work. No, not that one. This one. Yeah. With this little tube. There we go. Nope, that didn't work. Nope, that ruined it. Right, well, that didn't go well. Hold on, bring this closer. Bring this to my face. Curse my fat fingers. Close enough. Close enough. Close enough for government work. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We just won't look at it. Always fun to watch. Oh, well, I'm going to tell you some lore. So today, because today we're painting these guys as the Crimson Slaughter, a renegade chapter of Chaos Space Marines. I read their lore recently, and I really like their lore. I like their lore. Their lore is really cool. The Crimson Slaughter are basically just... Actually, this guy doesn't need it. The Crimson Slaughters are just the Flesh Tearers, if the Flesh Tearers actually became chaos, turned to chaos, which is really cool. You don't know what the Flesh Tearers are, but you don't need to know what the Flesh Tearers are. The point is, it's really cool. Their lore starts off as a loyalist chapter of Space Marines. Loyalists meaning that they have not returned traitor. They are not Chaos Space Marines, they're just regular Space Marines. So they started off their life as the Crimson Sabers, which was a loyalist chapter of Space Marines who went around, you know, doing usual Space Marine things, saving people, killing aliens, murdering people, fighting chaos, stuff like that. But they weren't very popular, the Crimson Sabers, due to their brusque nature and the fact that they murder a lot of innocent people. The fact they kill a lot of innocent people along the way as well, because they don't really care. So they weren't really popular with people. Eventually, the Crimson Sabers went to a world, I forget what it's called, what the world's name was called, like Ulgalath or something like that. And they stopped a chaos cult there. Now, no one at the time knew it was a chaos cult except for the Crimson Sabers, which is why they exterminated the population of that world. But the like people like the Inquisition, for instance, didn't know whether or not they actually were chaos, and believed that the Crimson Sabers were acting out of turn. Right? They were just like, they were acting recklessly, and they were being chastised for it. They were censured for it. Turns out they were right. So, follow your instincts, chat. If that person's probably summoning, if you think that person's summoning a demon, they probably are. They were in the middle of summoning a greater demon of Khorne. Khorne, not spelled C-O-R-N, but K-H-O-R-N-E. The god of blood and bloodshed. The chaos god of blood and bloodshed. And he also likes skulls. He's also a fan of skulls. So they interrupted the summoning of this greater demon. And for that, the greater demon went, right, fuck you. I'm gonna curse you. I get cursed. Get cursed, bozo. I hope you like my lore reading. So, the Crimson Sabers were cursed with, basically visions. They would get visions and hallucinations of basically all the people that they've killed. They would always see them, they would always hear them, and they basically would be haunting them like ghosts. It's great. I love interpretations of the bad word. Of the bad words. Excellent. Need more jingle, 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 though. When I get my keys, when I get the keys, I'll have them ready for you, Zumi. I'm getting an add-on for this model. It's gonna be me jingling my keys. It's gonna be jingling keys. So, yes. So, the Crimson Sabers would always see ghosts of the people that they killed. This eventually started to affect them mentally. This started to affect them quite a bit. They couldn't go to sleep without seeing the ghosts. They couldn't stand. They couldn't eat. They couldn't sleep. They couldn't shit without seeing these ghosts, these apparitions, and it was slowly driving them mad. Their current chapter master, by the name of Crennan, is his name, or Renan. Before they lost too much of their own mind, decided to go back to the world of which they exterminated to go try to find clues of what the hell was going on. They ended up going to the world that was in the same system as the world that they annihilated, which was like Ulgalath or something like that. It was the same guy name, like Ulgalath, some kind of shit like that. But instead of, investigating in a calm and reasonable manner, asking the populace some questions, getting some answers, perhaps having a milkshake or two, they instead went batshit insane. As by the time they got there, a lot of the Space Marine chapter, a Space Marine chapter being comprised of around 1,000 Space Marines, by that, mind you, 500 to 1,000 Space Marines. I believe at that point, half the chapter had basically gone insane. So when they landed on the planet, they started butchering people. Just killing everyone around them. Which was, big whoopsies. A bit of an oopsie daisies on the chapter master's part. As he did not know how bad, he did not realize how bad it was until that point. So, bit of an oopsies. Whoopsies, I killed the entire planet. and now my sergeant is bathing in the blood of that poor woman. Oops. Whoops. So after that, of course the rest of the Imperium found out. And they declared that the Crimson Sabers would be excommunicatus traitoris, which means you're a renegade Space Marine chapter now. You're kicked out of the Imperium, and everyone in the Imperium is now honor bound to kill you on sight. Needless to say, for the Crimson Sabers, this was not a good day. They've had better days, and this was not one of them. So, what to do now? You're excommunicatus traitores. Everyone hates you, and you're probably not going to be invited for Christmas, and you're probably going to find a pipe bomb in your mailbox. What are you going to do? Well, they decided that they needed to find a cure for this. They needed to find how the fuck this was happening and fix it. So, they decided to go to where the place a lot of traitors and traitors go. A lot of the excommunicated go. They decided to go to the Eye of Terror. Now, I'm sure you can tell by the name of it, it's a lovely place in space. It's a lovely space place, full of nice people who don't do anything wrong. Not a horrid Renton reality where demons live and gun traitors go there and traitor Chaos Space Marines go there to either build up to go attack the Imperium, raid the Imperium, or do all kinds of terrible, horrible things. But they decided that they were not going to go. They were not going to go there to join up with the traitors. They were going to go there to basically go on a bit of a penitent crusade of sorts. They were like, okay, well, we're kind of fucked. See if I can dry brush this right. Right, so they were just like, we're kind of fucked. There really is no way around it. We are excommunicated, traitors. We're slowly going mad. And there's really not much we can do about that. I feel like this can come in a little bit. I feel like this camera can come in a little bit. So, instead of just slowly going out or being killed by their former allies, they decided to go into the Eye of Terror and start killing every single traitor they could find. Basically going, we're just gonna die a glorious, wonderful death, and the one that no one's ever gonna see, but one that we know we did the right thing in the end. And so they did. They went off into the Eye of Terror and began killing everything in sight. Every chaos demon they could get a hold of, every legionnaire they could get a hold of, anything they could find. They just started killing and killing and killing and killing and killing. Which, slowly, over time, they, of course, started going even more mad. The curse was still afflicting them. So there wasn't really anything they could do about that. They were just trying to make a good death of it. However, over time, their chapter master started getting funny ideas. Started getting funny little silly ideas like, wait a minute, dying sucks. Wait a minute, dying's terrible. I don't want to die. Dying would be bad. So, he decided they would change course. Basically after eons of just slaughtering whatever the hell they get a hold of, they had basically thoroughly lost their way at that point. And decided that they weren't going to serve the Imperium. They weren't going to sit there and he made the chapter master made a declaration that they weren't going to sit there and just slowly die for an Imperium that didn't want them anyway. They weren't gonna waste away. They were gonna find a cure for for their madness, and then they were going to basically turn full traitor against the Imperium. Which some people in the Crimson Sabers did not approve of this. They were like, hey, no, we're loyalists to the end. We're not doing that. And he had them shot in the back of the head by the ones who were totally fine with that. So, with Crannon's position thoroughly secured, he began to try to find a way to cure the Crimson Sabers, who then changed their name. At this point, he had changed their names to the Crimson Slaughter, in honor of their whole, we're fully on the board of Team Chaos. Woo! Woo, go team! You know, a team of the people he's been murdering for eons. For a little while. So, he had, I forget if he got a Star Fortress or if he got a Space Hulk. They're very different from each other, but serve the same kind of purpose. And then from there, once he got hold of a Space Hulk, he made a deal with Fabius Bile. Fabius Bile being a sort of doctor. You could call him that. He basically, if you need Space Marines in the Eye of Terror, if you need to replenish your ranks and your numbers in the Eye of Terror, Fabius Bile is the guy to talk to. He can get you your stuff, right? So, the Crimson Slaughter, now Chaos Warlord, Crannon, after thoroughly getting rid of all the loyalists in his now Chaos Warband, he decided to go make a deal with Fabius Bile. He needed men, he needed materiel, he needed Chaos Space Marines, he needed new renegades to replace the losses that he had taken over their decades to millennia long penitent crusade they were on. Fabius Bile, after trading some resources around, agreed to it. And he had given them the means by which to make basically Vat-born Chaos Space Marines. I mean, yeah, they were kind of like monsters, mostly, but like, yeah, you know, when needs must. They were a bit more fucked up. Not quite right. But, you know, when needs must, you do what you gotta do. And so, Crannon, now fully in the form of the Crimson Slaughter, began basically a war of revenge against the Imperium. By the way, they're still suffering from the voices in their heads of the people that they've killed. Like, that's still a thing. That's still a thing happening to them. That hasn't gone away yet. And so, after a while, he gathered his forces and launched attacks on the Imperium. And these raids on the Imperium were massive. It even got its own little supplement book about it called The Crimson Slaughter. And they ravaged the star systems that they were, they ravaged the star systems that were close by to the Eye of Terror. They got into series of conflicts with different Space Marine chapters, killed lots of people, got lots of slaves and stuff like that, and yeah, basically lots of battles, lots of fighting. One thing that they did, though, which was one of the ballsiest thing I think I've ever seen a Chaos Space Marine chapter ever do, they had a vendetta against the Imperium, right? They hated the Imperium. But there was one force of people, a Space Marine chapter, that they hated more than any other, and that was the Dark Angels. The Dark Angels were the ones who basically chastised them first. The Krenin still believed them to basically be the root cause of their reputational decline before they all went crazy, way back when they were the Crimson Sabers still. So, Krenin, now Chaos Warlord, and with a warband of mutants, cultists, and Chaos Space Marines, was like, and possessed Chaos Space Marines, which is what these guys are. These are possessed ones. So they're basically, a possessed Chaos Space Marine is a Chaos Space Marine who's possessed by a demon. And it warps their body from the inside out, which is why you see they have like bone protrusions, mouths in their body armor. It utterly warps them drastically when they are possessed by a demon. With all this stuff around there, you're just like, you know what? I think it's time to fuck with the Dark Angels. I think it's time to fuck with the Dark Angels. Through sheer coincidence, Krenin happened to catch a particular person before he fully went after the Dark Angels. A very particular person of the interest of the Dark Angels. He had managed to capture a Fallen. Now, the Fallen... Oh, let me remove that. Now, the Fallen are Dark Angels who had turned traitor. One of the secret of the Dark Angels chapter, or Dark Angels back when they were a legion, which was way back in the Eon days, the olden days of Warhammer. Dark Angels were touted as one of the Space Marine chapters who did not turn traitor during the Horus Heresy. Basically, when the original Space Marine legions, where half of them turned traitor and became Chaos Space Marines, became the first Chaos Space Marines. However, this wasn't actually true. The Dark Angels purged the history of it, and it's one of their great shames that half of the Dark Angel Legion turned traitor. It's the reason why their homeworld of Caliban was destroyed. The resulting battle between the Lion, the de facto leader of the Dark Angels, and what his name was. I forget his name. Janus? No. Janus was a Grey Knight. Anyway, the leader of the Fallen, the Dark Angels who turned traitor, had a final battle on Caliban, and the result of their battle destroyed Caliban, the homeworld of the Dark Angels. And ever since that battle, that climactic battle, the Dark Angels, googly eyes, thank you, hello Ellie, the Dark Angels have been searching for the Fallen. The Fallen having escaped the battle and weren't all killed. Hello. So they're out trying to find the Fallen. Krenin, the chapter master of the Crimson Slaughter, eons and eons later. The Dark Angels have been looking for them for like 10,000 years at this point. Krenin gets his hands on a Dark Angel Fallen. This Dark Angel Fallen had information about a way to cure the Crimson Slaughter, but he also had information about, the Fallen, which Krenin found very interesting. He's like, the Dark Angels aren't as perfect as they seem to be. And so, when he returned to the Materium, I'm just telling some lore here, Ellie. The lore about the Crimson Slaughter, which I'm trying to paint right now. So when his warband came to the material realm from the Eye of Terror, and they went looking for a fight with the Dark Angels, they just sent them a message. They said, "Hey, Dark Angels, we know your secret. We know your secret. Come find us." And that's really all it takes to get the Dark Angels to show up. If you know anything about the Fallen, the Dark Angels will come to murder you. One of their great secrets, and they take painstaking efforts to murderize anyone who knows anything about the Fallen. So, this motherfucker Cranon, wanted to just fucking called the Dark Angels on the phone and just went, "Hey, I know your secret, come fight me." Come fight me about it. And it is like, and just waited for them to show up. He's bold. He's bold, I'll give him that. Though I guess he had every right to be bold because the Dark Angels did show up and he beat them. The first battle against the Crimson Slaughter and the Dark Angels was a victory for the Crimson Slaughters. They managed to defeat and push back the Dark Angels. Though it was technically a Pyrrhic victory, because even though they beat the Dark Angels, it turns out that cure that the Fallen was telling them about wasn't really actually much of a cure at all. Actually, it turned out to be a summoning ritual for the very same Corn Demon, Greater Demon, that cursed them with their affliction in the first place. So, but that's okay. It's okay, Ellie. I'm just telling you I'm just yapping about the general story about that I learned about the Crimson Slaughter. Cranon didn't. I'm just yapping. Just yapping. Cranon didn't like being used by demons, needless to say. So though he stopped the ritual and didn't go through with it, he was a bit miffed. He was a bit miffed that his chance for success had slipped away from him. And unfortunately, he was going to make that everyone else's problem. I was being silly. I do know a little. Ah, yes, excellent. Excellent. You're not completely lost. So he was going to make that everyone else's problem. Eventually, as time went on, more battles happened. Lots of more battles happened. Teeny tiny, itty bitty teeny tiny, but it's more than nothing. Eventually, on a desolate moon, on another venture of Cranon's and trying to find a cure, he was eventually taken to ground by the Dark Angels, who came back for vengeance against them for beating him the first time around. This time, though, it wasn't just some random captain who came to fight Cranon. This time, it was Belial. Instead of captain of the 5th company, we're talking captain of the 2nd company. And also, commander of the 2nd company, and also master of the Deathwing Terminators. Deathwing Terminators being a very fancy formation of heavily armored space marines that like to do things like teleport behind you and then stab you with a power fist through your chest very gently. And by very gently, I mean He's violently reaching in there and is going to tear your heart out through your sternum. So, another battle ensued. And this is, unfortunately, where the Crimson Slaughter story ends. Well, sort of. As Krenin is killed on this moon. Krenin dies to Belial in the final climactic battle. And the Crimson Slaughter are routed. Mostly. Somewhat. And that's basically where the story ended until the Gathering Storm books, which were the end of 7th edition lore. Basically, the lore that leads us from 7th edition to 8th edition, right? To a whole new edition. And in this lore book, I don't know how canon it is, or if Games Workshop just kind of forgot what the Crimson Slaughter lore was, because in this book, Krenin is alive for some reason. It's not sure if he just survived through some demonic method we're unaware of, or if Games Workshop just forgot that he died. They just forgot he got his head fucking ripped off. Anyway. So, in this, Krenin with the Crimson Slaughter join up with Abaddon, and when Abaddon launches his last Black Crusade that causes the events of 8th edition to happen, which aren't important here. Last we heard, he was on Cadia when it exploded, when Abaddon launched his final attack on Cadia. So he's probably dead? He's probably dead. Games Workshop kind of forgot he existed in the first place. So I don't think Krenin is coming back. I think he's been turbo killed this time, so he ain't coming back. And that's pretty much where the Crimson Slaughter ends. A loyalist chapter turned to chaos, and then went crazy, ravaged the Imperium for a bit, and then were killed by the Dark Angels, which is the story of events I'm going with. I don't see their inclusion in the Gathering Storm didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, they already had an ending. Why make another one, right? And it's just like, and an ending that's basically just a guest appearance, pretty much. An ending that, is like just pretty much a guest appearance of, hey, the Crimson Slaughter were here. Like, oh, cool. Why? Oh, cool. Why? Again? And yeah, that's pretty much their lore. They used a lot of different. They had a lot of different abilities in the tabletop. For instance, they were the only ones who could take Chaos Possessed as a troop choice. These guys, the one I'm painting right here, are usually elite in every other army, but for Crimson Slaughter, they're troop choices, which is really good because it means you can bring a lot more of them. It means you can bring a lot more of them, and they can grab objectives easier. And they're more durable than regular troops. No, they're not really that great, I would say, because the Crimson Slaughter are, well, not Crimson Slaughter, Possessed are kind of naff, to be honest. I love them, personally. But as a unit, even in 7th edition, they were always incredibly mid. The problem is, like, even though you can make them really durable, right? They do, like, no damage attacking back. Their damage is in 7th edition is entirely based upon a table of random results. which is super fun. Don't mind the camera wiggle a bit. Unfortunately, I can't get this table to stabilize when I paint on it. I really should just lift my arm off the table when I'm painting. Let me change some music around. I've had this opening music playing forever now. But yes, the possessed are kind of naff. If they attack normally, their weapons, though are strength 5, so that means like normal space against normal space marines, they're able to punch through their armor easy enough. But the problem is their AP, their armor penetration, the thing that determines whether or not they get a saving roll against your attack, is shit. It's really bad. And they have a low number of attacks. So like each one has like 2 attacks apiece. Which, I mean, on a charge, you do get more. So like charge will get you +1 attack. If I make them corn, they can get furious charge, which means they get 2 attacks on the charge, and they're strength 6 in melee when on the charge, which is not bad at all. But there are just other units that just slap better. They just hit harder. Like, why put all these points into possessed if you were trying to be competitive? That is, when you can put all these points into multiple flying demon princes, per se, who hit way harder, are flying, so they move faster, and they have Jink, which Jink is a stupid rule in 7th edition. Which Jink is a really stupid rule in 7th edition. Takes me back when painting D&D figures when I was a youngin'. You're not that old now. What do you mean when you were a youngin'? You ain't that old. Don't lie to me. But yeah, no, that's kind of now. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I printed out 40 of them. I printed out 40 of them for a reason. I do like them. They're just not as good as it could be. Just not as good as it could be. I think 8th edition I could do a lot more with them. But 8th edition was stupid with stacking buffs, so... But 8th edition was really stupid with stacking buffs anyway. So... But yeah, you know, it is what it is. I still printed out 40 of them, and I'm gonna paint 40 of them, damn it. I mean, not all this stream, mind you. I got work in the morning. I'm ancient. Ancient help. I can't find my cane. Well, I can't help you with that. What do you expect me to do about that? But yeah, I enjoy the Crimson Slaughter supplement book. I like bringing possessed as troop choices. And also, it has a stupid rule that really tickles my fancy. Now, the thing is, and what annoys me about 10th edition in particular is why I haven't been playing why I haven't really been doing a lot of Warhammer stuff recently, because 10th edition is really boring. In this edition, in 7th edition, there's a stupid formation called the Cult of Manon. Manon being one of the characters who features in the story about the Crimson Slaughter. He is a chaos sorcerer who reads signs and portents, right? And is really into Tzeentchian demons. He's big into the Tzeentchian demons. Hands, yes, hands. Hands. All the better to grip you with. Upper feet? Upper feet? Should I put up the lower feet then? Hold on, wait. Hold on, let me. The lower feet. No! No! It's too late. The lower feet have arrived. Oh shit, I forgot to take some of this paint off. Whoopsie poopsies. That's gonna be a bit thick there. Yeah, well, I'm not done with the dry brushing anyway. I wanted this one to be pretty thick anyway. I can't believe you're a feed streamer now. Anything to get the views, Cookie. Anything for the views, Cookie. Soon I'll have the cowboy waifu model, and I'll have the OnlyFans page for her. About to watch a movie? Oh, what movie? What movie are you watching? Is it The Thing? Tell me it's The Thing. I wish though. Why aren't you watching The Thing if you wish then, huh? 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 We can blame your friends? Yeah, this one I ended up applying the fucking Cal Vorbeck grid really thick on there. You can tell on the legs. Kind of fucked that one up a little bit. Oh well. My friend doesn't like gore like that. He'll learn. He'll learn. You just gotta give him time, Cookie. You just gotta give him time. You gotta... Why are you screaming? Why are you screaming? Let's see, do we have any more? Alright, we still got some Gal Vorbeck red on there. You can see the streak going. I scream because I must. But anyway, I was talking about a really stupid rule that really makes me happy that it exists in Warhammer. It's called the Cult of Manan. And basically it's at the start of the game, right? I rolled 2 dice. Just 2 dice. I record what they are, and then the game continues like normal. The first time my opponent rolls 2 dice that match, and it has to be exactly 2 dice. It can't, so whatever roll it is, that takes exactly 2 dice. Alright? If it matches my roll, I get to roll on a table and summon demons. Only for the first time, though. Only the first time he does it. At no other point. So it's only a once per game thing. But I just like the idea of he rolls to run, rolls 2d6, matches my number. I go, oh, the signs, the portents. The prophecy is realized, and put a Zinch demon on the table. I I know how to roll on the table, something horny joke. I'm sure you do, Cookie. I'm sure you will know all about the signs and the portents. But it's so stupid. It's such a stupid rule, and it only can exist in Warhammer. It's such a stupid ability. Where I'm just sitting here watching my opponent roll 2 dice. Sign my, however you spell that. Sign your portent. It's just such a stupid ability that may never come up in a game. Like, I could go a whole game, right, without that ability coming up. But the fact that there is a chance of summoning demons off that is really funny. It's just really funny. And it pleases me greatly. I love me some scuff game mechanics. Warhammer used to have tons of scuff game mechanics that were just really fun. Right? Like, they weren't good. They definitely weren't balanced. Some of them were just flat out broken. But they were all so much fun. They were all so much fun. For instance, I had been learning about the Dark Harvest for Necrons today. Which is I'm just dry brushing this guy here. Which is it was a set of rules around the Flayer cults of the Necrons. You know, the ones that like to skin people and wear it and go, ooh, look at me, I'm alive, look, I have skin. You know, those weirdos. And one of them had a rule that if he lost me for real, you probably like him. You probably would. But they had a rule where if the Lord basically always has the rule, the brink of madness. So if he loses morale, he has to roll on a table. On a roll of 1 to 2, he lashes out and does D3 damage to an opponent. 3 to 5, he behaves as normal, and on a 6, he gains a heap of rules. He gains frenzy, he gains rage, he gains relentless, but he counts as being dead for the purposes of the game. So, like, if your opponent slays your warlord, it still counts as makes your warlord break morale. It still counts as slaying the warlord. He's just now really fucking mad and refuses to die, and is now roaming the battlefield like a wraith, murdering people. He's dead, technically speaking, but he's still in the game. It's so dumb. I love it. It's so stupid. It's just a robot man too angry to die. It's so silly. And then there's the movie time. Go enjoy a movie, Cookie. What else? What other silly rules were there in Warhammer back in the day? Oh, there was Crazed. Crazed for Dreadnoughts. For Chaos Dreadnoughts. They just got to I don't remember if it's when they take damage or if they just, you know, at the start of their turn because existing is pain for them. But they just got to, at the start of their turn, they roll a D... I think it's at the start of the turn. They roll a D6. And then, depending on what they roll on the table, they're either going to... You got 3 things that could happen, right? either they're going to unload all their ordnance into the closest visible target that could be friend or foe. They're just going to go, well, that looks fleshy and killable, and then burn. Or they'll behave as normal. Or they will go on a blood-fueled frenzy and then proceed to charge at the nearest enemy unit. Just they have to use their turn to move as far as they can towards the nearest enemy model, and then charge that nearest enemy model. And I loved it. I loved that shit. That shit was so much fun. Because it like, one of the things the janky rules really did, right, was really get you in the feel of how these units like work, how they operate, how they think. Because Chaos Dreadnoughts, right? They're not reliable. That's the thing. Chaos Dreadnoughts are not reliable engines of war. They have a guy, basically you have a marginally alive person strapped into a machine constantly being tortured by demons and visions and basically driven insane, who is now encased in a giant war suit, who has to be chained down at all times, or else he'll go fucking crazy and try to kill everyone. Needless to say, it's not exactly the most reliable war engine in the Chaos arsenal. But I love that because it's very fluffy. It's very much like, this is exactly how a Chaos Dreadnought would be. It's exactly how they are in the lore. And it used to, so many of the new rules, as I realized reading through 7th edition, that 10th edition doesn't have at all. Basically 8th, 9th, and 10th edition kind of got rid of. Mostly 9th and 10th edition. It got rid of all the fluffy rules. They got rid of all the fluffy rules that really made a faction feel like that faction. And sadly, it seems like they got rid of it for silly reasons. It seems like they got rid of it for, well, that didn't work. Yeah, well, that didn't work as well as I planned to do. Take that off. They seem to have gotten rid of it for, well, tournament play, for matchmaking play, because all this stuff is not, I'm clean off this brush a bit, but all this stuff is not, how to say, it's not balanceable. Oh, we're back. We're back. I'm back. But like all this stuff is not balanceable. Like that's the, oh, my ball's freaking out while I try to get back into position. Like that's the thing. All this stuff is not balanceable. How do you balance a rule like crazed, for instance? You don't. No, it's a rule that's made to basically make the dreadnoughts more, the Chaos Dreadnought feel like a Chaos Dreadnought. And unfortunately, you're just not gonna be able to do anything about that. Because either you can have it be how it is now, where a Chaos Dreadnought doesn't behave like a Chaos Dreadnought anymore. Because I believe now the rule for Chaos Dreadnoughts is if they take damage, right? If they take damage, then you get +1 to wound. That's the crazed rule now. Which, let me tell you, sucks. That's not very interesting, is it? That's not, oh, this is a crazed man in a war suit who could go ballistic at any time and just start murderizing everyone, right? That's just oh, you get +1 to wound, -1 to wound. It's like, that's it. It's not really representative of 40k. It's not really representative of the game. It's just a thing that's made for competitive play. And I don't think I need to tell you, that's really boring. I mean, maybe I do need to tell you, but maybe I do need to bring it up, but I can't believe I just the way I feel about it, like, it's really boring. It's really dull. It's a really dull way to have the game be. So I'm excited that me and my friends are going to be playing, ooh, I cleaned out pretty well. So I'm excited me and my friends are going to be playing some 7th edition Warhammer. Like we did in the good old days. Like we did when I first met them, actually. I met them in 7th edition. And we've been friends for a decade now, pretty much. We've been friends for damn near 10 years at this point. So it's nice to be getting back to the game, you know, the game that really, that we met on in the first place. I wish the modern game was better, but seeing how the modern 40k is going, seeing as Games Workshop seems more concerned about suing cosplayers than, you know, doing anything that's actually fun with the game, I'm gonna get the feeling that we're not gonna be getting that. I have the distinct impression that will not be happening. This is a long brush. I just kind of realized that. This is a very long brush. I just kind of realized that. See if I can. It's very long. I just want to paint this back portion on this one to really make sure that this green stuff gets painted over. I don't care if it's a little lumpy, right? If there's a little bump there you can see. Because I can just make that little flesh thing, and that's fine. I just want to make sure all the green is painted over. I just want to make sure all this green is painted over. So I guess I should talk about the process of which I'm doing here. I kind of just started painting and didn't really tell anyone what I was doing. I'm trying one method for this, and I think for the other ones I may try another method. What I'm trying to do is paint over all of this with a dry brushing of a dark red, Galvorback red to be exact. And then I'm going to, which is why I'm kind of being a bit fast and loose with the amount of red I'm using. And I don't really care if it fills in some of the crevices, because I'm just trying to cover like as much of the model as possible with this dark red. And then I'm going to add layers to it by dry brushing layers, brighter layers of red over it. I believe over here. Yeah, I think we're gonna try Emperor's Red. One of my reds over here is a bit darker than the others. We're gonna try painting some Emperor's Red and then some Scarab Red, and then we're gonna try to finish with a highlight of either Demon Red or Centurion Red. Not entirely sure which yet. I have so many of these Duncan Rhodes paints that I have not even tried yet, so I don't even know what some of them even are. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do here. Basically a little dry brushing, a little over brushing over the whole model. Dry brushing being the method by which I take my paint, I take my brush, I dip it into there, I beat most of the paint off on it, and then I use what little paint is left to paint over the model. And though I did call some of it overbrushing because I am just painting some bits kind of just basically a solid red as opposed to a dry brush red. Because I kind of want this to be the darkest red on the model. Though in some places I do want that black to still be there. So, kind of a mix of both. I'm kind of just winging it here a little bit. And giving a different idea a try. A different idea I was thinking about a try. So we'll see how it works. I think it'll turn out interestingly, at the very least. Even if it's an abysmal failure, at least it'll be interesting. I gotta say. There we go. And then like that? Like so. Like that? I think that's pretty good. Alright. So I have the basic idea down. Let me clean off this brush again. Maybe I should have used the larger brush for this. Oh well. Oh well, hindsight's 20/20. What can you say? I'm really messing up the soap, though. I am really messing up the soap. But we're gonna make sure I get this all nice and cleaned out. I don't want to let anything left. I don't want anything left in this brush. There we go. We gotta beat it around. He's using the brush soap. So you're aware. See, I'm not jerking off screen. That's not happening. Don't assume. But it's gonna and just really work it out of the bristles. Being boozled, you say? Damn, really beat the shit out of this, huh? I think it's okay. Still got a little bit of pink left, but should be fine. Well, maybe a bit more. Maybe a bit more soap. Where are the beans? Ah, there are the beans. It's time for the bean! Is it bean o'clock already? I can't believe it's bean o'clock already. We have this bean. I think about the hand cam, I can just show the bean. I think that's liver. Oh god. And I spilled some of the soda on myself. Help! Help! I'm falling apart! Do you ever get a good one while reading? I think I got marshmallow ones from you. But recently, no. Recently, not very much, no. Yeah, let's just work this out some more. You see the whole camera shaking. I really wish I could get a sturdy table here on the side of my desk, but sadly, this is the best I got. Sadly, this is the best I have. It's just a small table. There we go. Alright, that's pretty good. That shouldn't be a problem. Alright, now I need more paper towels. Oh my god, I just blew through so many paper towels. Maybe this napkin will be fine. This page's basically dry anyway. Alright, should we try Emperor's Red next? See, here's the problem. I can't think of a red that I have as a step above. You know? I'm gonna look at Emperor's Red. I'm gonna see what it's like. I see. Oh, I'm in the way. Hold on. Boop, 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 boop. That's it right there. Right next to my neck. It's a little bright. What about Scarab Red? What's a Scarab Red look like? Give it a little. Boop. It's blurted. Sorry, I coomed. Okay, so that's more of a gem red than a red. Alright, so definitely not that. Definitely not Scarab Red. So, I think it would make a good gem color, actually. It would make a good gold. It would make a good, like, metallic kind of, goldy kind of color. The problem with these nozzle ones, they get jammed up real quick, and I'm just splurting all over the place. Okay, so that's, what was that? That was Demon Red, which is more of an orange. I like this looks like orange, doesn't it? Why do they call it Demon Red? Right? That'd be more like an orange color, isn't it? Why do they call it Demon Red? It's not really demon or red. Or like a fiery orange. Alright, how about this one? This is Glistening Gums. Not a bad color, but not the one I'm looking for. I think the Emperor's Red is probably the best one. Did we do Centurion Red? We did not do Centurion Red yet. We did not do Centurion Red. Let me try Centurion Red. Blurred. That is 100% orange. That is 100% just orange. I was promised red. I was promised red and I have oranges. What is this bullshit? How about Apocalypse Sky? I'm being scammed. I'm being skamazed here. That's more of a reddish orange. I can't believe I'm being skamazed like this. Maybe if I mix Emperor's Red with a little bit of Galvorback Red to make an in-between. That might be work. That might work. Let me try it. A little bit of the gal back right here. And mix the two together. That doesn't look bad, actually. Actually, that doesn't look bad at all. This guy right here. Right next to it, right above my shoulder. That doesn't look bad at all, actually. That could work. It's a step up in red. Give it a try. Alright, try you. Now that's when we're going to try to focus it a little bit. Towards more of the raised areas. Or rather, the higher points on the model. Looks like I didn't really change that much. It caught well in the face. Maybe, I don't know if you can see it. It caught well in the face, but I think I need some more. Maybe I flip this over. Alright, most of it's already off already. No, I'm pretty sure this is skin right here. I'm not even sure why I'm dry brushing this. Pretty sure this is a thigh meat right there. It looks like it's shaped like meat. It's really shaped like his little thigh muscles. Which could be the case. I feel like I need to mix some more. And that looks like kind of like warping between metal and thigh meat on his leg there. Not entirely sure about that. But you can kind of tell. Right? That his different parts are lighting up a bit. You can see how the upper shoulder, maybe you can't, and maybe it's hard to tell, but his upper shoulder is lighter than the bottom part of his shoulders, which drifts more towards black. That's kind of the effect I'm going for. I'm trying to keep the higher areas more a lighter color, a lighter shade of red, as opposed to the darker areas. But I'm not sure. Not sure how far I should go with it, you know? Because a lot of this is actually kind of fleshy. I think definitely the top part of this gauntlet needs to be more of this red color. Right? The top part of this gauntlet here needs to definitely be more of this red color. Which I am rapidly running out of. You got any on the other side? I feel like it hasn't going to change very much because I don't really have much left. I simply just don't have enough left. Alright, let's put some more Galvor back right there. Mix in some more. There, it's about the same color. You know, just about eyeballing it a little bit here. Just bleed a little and you'll have more red? Yes, exactly. How silly of me. I must make an offering to corn. That's the only solution to my problems. Hello, Vega. Truly, that is the only way this can go. Do that. Flip this over. And we just gotta really kind of want to build it up on this gauntlet here. I feel like this could have had more dry brushing and Galvor back on his leg here, but oh well. Blood for the Blood God. Well, we are doing Crimson Slaughter. We are doing the Warband Crimson Slaughter, so it is fairly apt. Trying to make a nice red color for them. Like, especially in this gauntlet area. There we go. I just need a little bit more. This pincer is going to be a completely different color, so I don't even know why I'm even considering painting it. There we go. So how are you doing today, Vega? You doing good? How's it been? I have not seen you in a hot minute. Dab dab dab. Dab dab dab. Dab 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 dab. There we go, and paint this side a little bit more. Busy but good. How goes the crooked house? It goes all right. Same kind of thing. Busy, but things are going well. At least I think they are. Some people may look at my squalor and disagree, but we got things coming down the pipe works. Got a video I'm working on. A funny little goofy aside video, which I think people will enjoy when it comes out. And yeah, we got that. We got new models. We got more stream stuff I'm always trying to improve on. Got lots of things. Got lots of things I need to do. I still need to finish that agreement I made with changing Ellie's name out for a meme. But I haven't gotten around to that yet. Mainly because I don't know how to work 7TV. I don't know how to work 7TV. It's kind of hard. It don't make sense to me. Alright, let's clean this brush off. Like your vids. Also, new models. How many you got now? It's not important. The numbers aren't important. But I have reduced it, actually. And there's one model I need to put up for auction because she does not match my vibe anymore. It's the doll model that's actually going to be getting a 2.0. If you must know. And she's getting a 2.0, and she's also getting a 3D model, though I don't know when I'm going to debut that. I'm going to get it soon, I just don't know when I'm going to actually show it off to everyone. I don't know if I should wait until the 2D model's done, or if I should do the 3D model first and then the 2D model. You know? Which would bring us up to like, I think like 11 models. So, you know, make it, you know, good numbers, good numbers. Thank you for the lurk, Ellie. Yeah. Yeah. Lots of things going on. I just don't know what to do. Trying to beat everything off this brush, but it's all not coming out. Happy. Cat move. What else is going on? Not really a whole lot else is going on. There's lots of work things, lots of little projects that I'm still trying to work on. Watching insane people on the internet do insane things, you know, say stupid things. Same old, same old. 3D model. I'm not going full 3D though. I'm still gonna be using my 2D models, but I also will have a 3D model when I want to use that model. So yeah, I'll have all kinds of models really. Have all kinds of models ready to go. Really in the bristles. Ah, there we go. That's really in the bristles there. Uh-oh. Abby's up here. Uh-oh, folks. Abby's up here. My cat's up here. She's sitting over there. She's sitting over there watching. Important question. You think I could build a Warhammer army with anime waifu figures? You got a 3D printer? If you got a 3D printer, then yeah, totally. If you don't, it's gonna be a bit harder to say. I do? Oh, then yeah. There's a guy who sells armies and stuff in waifu versions, and bits for that too. Tons of that stuff around. Tons of that stuff around. You totally could. You know, honestly, I think I made this harder for myself by dry brushing it. I was trying to see if I could dry brush all the colors on there. Maybe I should have dry brushed the chop chop method. That's so cursed. I shall look it up. Oh yeah, it's very cursed. I think I had ones with cat heads too, with cat ears as well. Yeah, they did. I can't remember what they were called though. Abby, go that way, cat. Take a dollop of this. And just beat the bristles out of it. Yeah, I was gonna think I made this more work for myself by doing dry brushing. Yeah. Still not done yet. I don't think it's dry because I think the fucking paint was dry when I got it. Oops. Abby. Go down. She wants to come up here so bad. She wants to go over here so bad and see what's going on. Oh, it's the last night for, yeah, that looks terrible. Yeah, that looks terrible. I may repaint this and try again. Oh man, it's just so damp. Yeah, it's not really a dry brush, it's more of a wet brush. Alright. Give me Demon Red. I'm gonna try this again. Hold on. Put it on my wet palette. Not my wet palette. Put it on my paper towel. I'm gonna mix it into the bristles like so. There we go. Now it's working better. There we go. Now it's catching the raised details I want. There we go. Alright, started out a bit rough. Failure. I was feeling it, Queen. It started out a bit rough, but I think I brought it back. Abby. You little bitch. You're echoey? I'm echoey? Like, how echoey? Is it because I'm far away, or is it... Am I better if I get close up? Like this? How about this? Is this better? Or is it echoey in like a different way? Yes, far away echo. Oh, well, that's kind of because I am far away. That's kind of because I am far away. I have to be over here a little bit in order to actually reach over here to this area. I don't really have the reach to get over here. Abby. Get that. Look at this little bitch. Look at this little bitch. Look at this little guy. Just being a problem. She's just being a problem. Talk to a paper cup and still be here. Maybe one day we'll get to that point. We'll achieve such greatness. Yeah, time for the really fun part. Painting all the other details. Kitty, yeah, it's Abby. Yeah, it's Abby. She's a little goofball, ain't she? She keeps coming up here. She keeps wanting to be up here. Kitty, she's so big. She's gotten pretty big recently. Well, actually, no. She's still kind of a runt. And Piper still has her cone on. Don't you, Piper? Don't. One more day, and Piper will be able to take her cone off. But for now, she is coned. For one more day, she is coned. So now we Oh, thank you, yeah, bitch. Thank you for the sub. I appreciate it, Queen. Oh dear. You all keep forgetting I have that redeemed now, right? You guys have seen it before, and yet every time you all are surprised by it. Or you're going, oh dear, about Piper being in the cone. Yes, she's in the cone of shame. My phone was all the way up. Oh, that's not my fault. Well, that's pale skin. We don't want pale skin. That ain't my fault. Yeah, she still has one more day at the cone of shame. And she, we got a call back from the doctor. Which is buffering bad. Oh no. We got a call back from the doctor. It turns out that, that growth on her body was cancer. It turns out that growth on Piper's body was actually cancer. I can't believe. It's also for the wrong model. I do need to get like Gooberkirk to show up and get punted. I need to change that routine now these days, but anyway. Fortunately, she's fine, right? It was a low kind of cancer. The one that can easily be cut out without any issue. And it should be fine. Which they already cut it out, so problem solved. A little bit of a fright, but she should be fine. There shouldn't be any issues. She's gonna go in tomorrow, and she's gonna get her stitches taken out. And then she'll be as good as new. She'll go back to eating solid foods instead of wet foods. Which I'm sure she'll be very upset about. due to the fact that I think she really liked the solid food, the liquid foods. I did that pun before I got serious. It's not really serious. It's just an update. It's an update. Like, no, it's not really serious because the problem's already solved. Right? If it was like a terminal cancer, okay, yeah, you'd be serious. But like, it's not. All it was just even though it was a cancerous tumor, it was safely removable. It was a very low grade, non-threatening cancer. So I would say it's more fortunate than anything else that it was a mild. It turned out to be a mild thing, not really a big deal. And because I keep saying Piper's name, she wants attention. Let me finish this. Hold on, Piper. Hold on. Let me finish this and I'll deal with my doggo. But yep, tomorrow. Oh, bloody hell. I'll paint that over with some red. The problem with this dry brushing method is now I have to be careful of all the stuff around her. So I could give her an extra love, so she will have all the extra loving she needs. Like I said, if it was a bigger deal, then I would be more upset about it, right? But since it's not, I'm not really too worried about it or anything. I'm more upset about my bank account than anything. Since she seems to be perfectly fine. It seems like everything's perfectly fine. The growth hasn't come back. She's getting her stitches out tomorrow. And then everything will go right back to normal. Right back to normal. God, why do you have to have so many tiny teeth on you? Oh, my, but this man has many tiny teeth. This man has a lot more tiny teeth than I thought he would have. Look, he has even tiny teeth right in there in his mouth. Normal kidney stealing status. Ah, yes. Normal kidney stealing status. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me take care of the doggo. Okay. Tiny teeth. Tiny teeth. He has tiny teeth. He's a tiny teeth in his tiny mouth. Got to be carefully around all these bony protrusions. This is gonna be the tedious part, which is why I think I probably shouldn't have done this method. Because if I just done the method I was thinking of doing in the first place, the chop method, I could blow through this part a lot quicker. But now that I did it with reds, I have to do a lot slower. Emma says hi. Hello, Emma. She's been hounding me to get to you. Jesus, is Crooked streaming today? She says. I go to Crooked. That doesn't stream every day, baby. No, it's not every day. I wish I could, Emma. I wish I could, but I sadly do not. I sadly am not big enough streamer to manage such things. Maybe one day, Emma, I will be able to be full-time streamer. But for now. I must be out here doing my best. Hoof. Paint hoof 1. Paint hoof 2. There's a hair there. Why is there hair there? Where's this hair coming from? Are you sure his face? This guy's face? He's got a face only a mother could love. Let me just paint over this part as well. There we go. Bam. Cute. I don't think I'm not sure about that, but all right. Agree to disagree, but all right. Part's gonna take forever. I might redo the other ones in the other method I was going to do. The problem with this method is that now I have to paint every bony protrusion, when I could have just painted it in Chop Shop and been done with it. Chop Shop being a painting method where I just dry brush the whole model in dark grays, medium tone grays, and a white gray, and then just use contrast paints to quickly paint over the model. Basically allows you to just trace over, it cuts out a lot of the steps. It allows you to basically just trace over the model and get a lot of models done very quickly in that look pretty good. That look very good. But I wanted to be a fancy boy and try using dry brushing. And now I am suffering for it. Remember, Emma, work smarter, not harder. Valuable life lesson. What the old Scrooge McDuck said, you gotta be smarter than the smarties and tougher than the toughies. And unfortunately, all I'm doing is just burning through my time and not getting a whole lot done. But we're committed now. Oh, there's still so much else to make. We still gotta get his tabard, his coils, and his chest. I still have to paint the fleshy bits. But I'm still not sure if these leg joints here are actually fleshy or metal. Not entirely sure. I'm still not sure about that in the slightest. You get another coat over this. There. Alright. I still gotta get this other hoof. The other foot needs painting. The problem with all this is I have to now be very careful. Hands, yes, my hands. I have to be very careful what I'm painting now. Abby! Abby's grabbing things that she shouldn't be messing with. Let's see. You knocked out his head, you little bastard. She's messing with things she shouldn't be messing with. Let's see. What else should be bony? This is a claw, so this should be bony. Oh, I'm not done with the hoof yet. We're gonna get the back side of the hoof. I've only gotten the front side of the hoof. I need to get the back side of the hoof. There we go. There we go. Won't worry about the bottom of the feet because the bottom of the feet are going to be, you know, on the bottom of the base, so they don't need to worry about that. Well, at least that portion's already going to be painted anyway, so that doesn't matter. I had to paint over that portion anyway. And then that portion as well. That teeth on his gauntlet, that is teeth on his gauntlet. God, there's little teeth right in there, right on his gauntlet. Right in the hardest to reach position. Thank you, strange model, for putting yourself in the worst possible position for me to get to you. Did I get it? Did I get it? Yes. There we go. That'll have to be good enough. Yeah, that's a rough position to get to. Alright, let me get the dog inside. And then we'll continue on to the next color. Alright, all the fleshy appendages. We're gonna make Screamer pink. All the fleshy bits. We're done with the bone for the moment. We'll come back to it in a bit. Once we're done doing the wash and everything, we'll give it some highlights. We get all the base colors done, and then I'll go through and pick out the areas that we need to fix. Doesn't really look like pink, does it? Well, in the camera it does. Over here, when I'm looking at it straight on, it looks a lot darker than pink. But when I look at it in the camera, it looks a lot brighter, you know? What areas am I gonna make Screamer? This is definitely gonna be Screamer pink. This tentacle coming out of his backpack. The one thing I will say, as much as this is a fun sculpt of a Games Workshop model, the one thing I do not like about Games Workshop's design is the sheer volume of details on their miniatures. You look at this model, you see all the little stuff that's all over it, and it is exhausting to look at. Because you go, man, I'm gonna have to paint that. You go, man, I'm gonna have to paint that. You go, like, God damn, I'm gonna paint all that. I'm gonna paint all that shit. make the claws Screamer pink. The big claw. And the ones on the hand. I think I want to make Screamer pink. They're like, here's a claw. But you know what the claw also needs? It needs a tiny little mandible claw inside the claw. That's what it needs. And it needs a little finger growth there. Put another finger growth there right there. You gotta paint that too. It's like, goddamn, I don't want to paint all these details. I don't want to paint all these details, man. Could you not add so many? Could you calm down with the details? Actually, I think the inside is different. There's a carapace on the outside, and then there's a fleshy membrane on the inside, which I think is gonna have to be a different color. Or I can just make it all Screamer pink and call it a day. That's also an option. No, I think I'm gonna have to make the inside membrane bit the same color I make like the arm. Maybe, oh no, it has to be different because it's like teeth, right? It's like teeth, it's like a gum sort of thing. So it'll be a bit different. It's gonna have to be different. Gotta be different, man. Gotta get a little chitinous shells on the ear. Get on the inside as well. You gotta get on the inside. Kind of what I'm thinking of. No, could use another layer of Screamer pink right here. Like so. There, like so. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway. That one on the outside, like so. And then I don't really know what to make that little inside membrane. Maybe I can... What can I do? Look, Cyberpink. There's a paint I'm not familiar with. It's one of the new ones I got, but I don't know what it looks like. It appears to have dried a bit. Hold on. I need to get a paper clip. I need a paper clip. And there we go. There's one right over here. Somewhere buried down here. There we go. There we go. Paperclip. We need a paperclip. And then I will jab it thusly into the top of this to clear it out. Like so. And then we'll just pierce the tip. There we go. And we enter its urethra, and we now have Cyberpink. So that's Cyberpink, and isn't Glistening Gums this one right here? But I don't want to use that one, so we'll use this one. Yeah, that's what we're using right there. So perhaps glistening gums for the gums, and then cyber paint for a highlight? That doesn't sound bad. That doesn't sound bad at all. We're kind of winging it at this point. In case you couldn't tell. Kind of winging it a little bit. Which, I mean, should be fine. A lot of this should be done through feeling anyway. Get some of that paint off there. There we go. Alright. Come here. Grab that line. Go back. I think these little protrusions, I'm just going to have them be glistening gum as well. Because I cannot be fucked to paint those. Cannot be bothered. You see me here? I can't be bothered. So they're just gonna be gummy. Gummy little nubs. Just come out and be all gummy. When he bites onto them, he just, you know, he just gets him with his gums. It just nom 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 nom. Go feed the kid. Go feed Emma. She must be fed. I'm just gonna continue on for a little bit longer, painting my little mini. Now, what has been going on recently? Not a whole lot. There's... I saw a little kerfuffle on the Twitter. A little kerfuffle. It's always a kerfuffle on the Twitter. But this time it involved someone posting like the first chapter of Dandadan, right? And they decided to take umbrage with the first chapter of Dandadan. Nah, I don't like that listening gum. I'll think I have a different color for that. But they took umbrage with the first chapter of Dandadan. Where the main lead gets stripped to almost naked and almost you know, sexually assaulted by aliens. Which gets averted by Okarun. And they decided to take umbrage with that, which is weird to take umbrage with it now, which makes you think that he's just doing it for clout, right? So long after the fact, like Dandadan's already not only has been a manga forever, it's already become an anime. It's already had its first season. It's about to have its second season. Even going so far as to be in movie theaters, right? So it's like, okay, sure are picking all the times to start being campaigning about this, though. I guess to be fair, he's probably picking this time because Dandadan's become relevant. Again, due to the fact that it's coming out again. He started just starting all kinds of fights about that. About that scene. Right? He's just going into fights with people on Twitter. People correcting him that it was because he was saying it was grooming for a 16-year-old being groomed. Like, no, it's not grooming, it's sexual assault. And he was like, okay, it's even worse. And just like, and it was like, I was just sitting there going, man, you can't have us heating about anything anymore with anime. You really can't. It has been overrun with people who are here because it's popular. So they get mad about basically anything. Some of them get mad. They don't really get mad. They get about anything. They're just here because it's popular, and they're here because it's clout. I don't think this person either really feels this way or is really a fan of anime and is just looking to start a fight over this for internet clout. And it's just kind of the way things are now these days, where people just do that. I remember it was Connor from the Trash Takes podcast, who was talking about like how toxic the anime community has become. Like, well, yeah, it's because it's become popular. When it becomes popular, you get all kinds of people joining into your communities, right? Some of them are really cool and really want to join and didn't know anything about anime and really want to join in and see its stuff. Some people are not like that. Some people are here for their own reasons. They're here because it's popular. They're here because it's a thing they can use for social currency. It's a thing. They're here for all their own reasons. Right? And unfortunately, you know, this was a mistake. You know, painting that skull like that was a mistake. What should I do about that? I'll paint it back. I'll wait for it to dry and I'm gonna paint it back. Unfortunately, that's just kind of the way it is with popularity. Popularity breeds, well, people who don't really care about your hobby coming in and just taking up space just because it's a popular thing. And now, if they're just being here, that wouldn't really be an issue, right? It's not really a problem just to exist in a space. But they tend to like to put their 2 bits in on everything. They tend to get like, they want to put their 2 bits in on everything. They start fights with everyone because they have their idea of what they think it should be to appeal to themselves, even though they're not really a fan of anime. They're not really a fan of the thing. They still think that the thing should cater to them, so they start putting out like really bad ideas or really bad takes that are just like that. Like, for instance, there's this one where it's just like it's complaining about a scene in an anime that you don't like, and starting a fight on the internet about it, so that we won't make a show like this again, so that a show like this won't be made again, or that the show should change because you don't like it, or that the anime community should be browbeat into thinking like how you think. And this show, how you think about this show, and so yada yada stuff like that. And yeah, it just becomes really annoying to deal with. It becomes really annoying to deal with tons of bad actors who decide to ruin it for everyone because it doesn't cater to them specifically. For instance, should I bring up the amount of people who start calling other people pedophiles because they like an anime girl with small boobs, or an anime girl who's short, or an anime girl who is petite? You're a pedophile, by the way. You like those kind of anime characters? Pedophile. It's not even lolly at this point anymore. It's not even like full lolly. It's like, does that woman look young, and does that anime girl look young and attractive? It is clearly child coded, and you're a pedophile. That's the logic we're at this point. And it's like, I kind of lost my train of thought of where I was going with this, but it's kind of like hard to deal with such. How do you interact with such a person who's clearly just attacking the medium? They're not a fan, and let me point out, they're not. It's not. They don't have to like all like fan service and all that stuff to be a fan of anime. But it's clear that the people doing this are doing this with malicious intent. They're doing this for clout. They're doing this for attacking you, to browbeat you into submission. They're doing this for their own personal reasons, not because for their own reasons, and it's all dependent upon what they get out of it. And those aren't the actions of a fan to me. Those aren't the actions of someone who actually likes anime or likes whatever medium they're in. For instance, 40K had tons of accusations thrown at it about like racism and things like that, and misrepresenting of the Imperium of Man and all that stuff for malicious actors who just wanted to get more sway in the company of GW, to get them to bend the knee to what they wanted to do, what they wanted them to do. And like, how that person's not a fan. The person who is here because it's popular and because they have their own, the person who's just here just because it's popular is not a fan of anime. For instance, if you only watch Demon Slayer, but every time you go and watch any other anime, you're just like, you're complaining about it, you're bitching about it, you're like, oh, well, I don't like this trope, I don't like that trope, I don't like any of this, I only just want to watch Demon Slayer, and that's it. Like, are you really a fan of anime then? You sound like you're just a fan of Demon Slayer, and that's it. Which, it's not really being a fan of anime. And that's just if you're here because you watched an anime that you really liked. But you don't really like the medium as a whole. That's why I'm bringing in things like malicious, what I was talking about, which was malicious actors, which gets even exponentially worse. Which then makes things exponentially worse. And it's the woes of becoming popular. It's the woes of becoming popular. It's like the worst thing. It used to be when I was growing up that, man, I wish my hobby would become like super popular and everyone loved it, and everyone adored it, and everyone got to see how amazing this all was. And now I am here at the age of 32 going, popularity was a mistake. How times change. How times change. But it just seems like everything that becomes mainstream popular ends up getting destroyed. And either destroyed by the actual medium itself, i.e. in like the case of Star Wars or Star Trek, let's say, where the content being pushed out is just awful, or it's destroyed in the case of, well, community-wise, where it just becomes toxic to even talk about it because the community has been flooded with horrible people. Take the anime community, for instance, which is currently being flooded by tons of horrible people for a while now. Been flooded by tons of people who just are just really annoying to deal with. I should paint this metal. That's what I should do. I should paint this metal. Tons of really self-righteous, annoying people who just want to be mean to everyone, belittle everyone, and it makes it hard to get involved in the anime community, you know? used to be that you could have, this is something Connor was talking about, it used to be that you go online to a forum talking about anime, and even if you guys didn't agree on anime, right, because I still remember like the great flame wars of the 2000s, right, between Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. At least most anime fans would talk to you reasonably. Even if you didn't agree on what shows you thought were good, you would at least be able to have fun times, find some people, and have some good discussions. Now, it just turns into a shit show. Like, every time. Every time, it turns into a shit show of people just being incredibly mad at each other for reasons I can't even begin to comprehend sometimes. It sucks, but you know, it is what it is. Eventually, it won't be as popular anymore, and everyone will just move on. And they'll move on to the next popular thing, and then everything will calm the fuck down one day. Maybe not, but maybe I'm just being a bit hopeful, but you know what? I like to dream. That maybe one day everything will go back to normal and everyone will calm the fuck down. I can have hope. I can live in hope. Oh, here comes the most annoying part of all this. Having to go through all the trim detail. And paint every last little bit of it. Lord, have mercy upon my soul. Yeah, this is probably the worst part of painting Chaos Space Marines. Love playing them as a faction. They have tons and tons of toys in their toy box. But holy hell, is painting trim the worst. It's painting the inconceivable amounts of trim details these models have. Just the most tedious prospect of Chaos Space Marines. And I swear, right? I swear every time Games Workshop releases a new Chaos Space Marine model, it's like some kind of competition in the design department. That goes, how much trim detail can we add on a Chaos model this time? How much trim detail could we possibly cram into a single model? The answer is a lot, apparently. Because holy hell. Oh, there's more teeth down there. I just realized there's a hole there. Look at that. There's a hole underneath these teeth right here. The mouth in his chest. Ah, crap, I got to paint that too. Crap, I'm got to paint that too. Crap. And go around this side, this leg joint as well. Oh, still so much left. How much have I painted? Oh god, there's still so much. This is why I should have done the chop chop method. I could have at least cut out quite a bit of this. Brain, why didn't you think of this before? Damn you, Brain! Damn you for not thinking about this part and forgetting about it. Curse you, Brain! Ugh. We still gotta wash it all. Still gotta wash it all. We still got ton. Oh my god, there's still so much stuff. There's still so much. We're gonna be 3 hours in, and I'm going to be nowhere near done with this model. That's what's gonna happen, chat. That's what's gonna happen. God help me. I don't know why I find it so funny. I think the painting madness has taken me. It's the ocean madness. I have been claimed by the sea. Was that it? That was it. It's the model madness. The model madness has claimed me. My mind is already broken. Shattered into 1,000 pieces. Painting these tiny trim details and trying not to paint over the parts I just painted. Trying and failing miserably because I do not have a steady hand for this. Oh, why'd I have to love playing Chaos Space Marines? Why couldn't I love playing any other faction? Why couldn't I love playing Black Templars? They're easy. Well, the reason why I not love playing Black Templars is because Games Workshop fucked them, but that's... Games Workshop ruined them, that's right. Alright. I forgot about that. Alright. I forgot about that too. God, one of the coolest factions in the game, Games Workshop treats it like the redheaded stepchild. The coolest OG faction in the game. The Black Templars. I swear Games Workshop forgets they exist. Oh sure, they make models for them. They have a new model coming out for them, but they don't really play like Black Templars, you know? The faction doesn't really play like Black Templars. Most of the models only kind of look like Black Templars, that's about it. It's just not like how it was in the good old days. With the 4th edition Black Templar Codex. But this is just more of the old man yells at clouds in me. So, you know, maybe you shouldn't take too much salt. Maybe you shouldn't invest too much time into that train of thought. Ugh. I only got one leg done. I still have the whole other leg to do. And then the whole other leg and the whole other shoulder pad. Ugh. Oh well, keep going. I'm at least gonna make this one like this. I've already started. But I'm definitely changing methods for the other ones. Does this one have any glyph thing on him? Not glyph, but edging? Oh yeah, it kinda does. Right above his thigh here. Right where his hip joint connects, there's a little bit of edging here. I could have phrased that a bit better. There's a bit of edging to be done here, sir. Oh boy, this is some good edging right here. Oh, I'm going crazy. The moon madness is taking me. By Jove, Evan, I think there's some good. I think by Jove, Evan, I think there's some good edging to be done right here. And some more edging to do over here. Oh, poor blimey, sir. There's just so much edging going on here. And then paint this. Paint that. The problem is so thin this paint is. It applies good. I feel like it needs more than one layer. It doesn't like clot up much, right? But like I feel like it needs, in the trade-off for it not like clotting at all, it needs like a few additional like layers applied. Because of how thin it is. Which kinda sucks. Oh, it kinda sucks. As I try to get us all in one position. Alright, we get the star here, the arrow right here on his knee joint thing, shin, leg, piece of shit, ligament. Come on. There we go. So much dry brushing. So much dry brushing being ruined. Yeah, there we go. Oh, shit, no, I'm not done yet. Shit, not done yet. We got on the one leg. But we forgot to get it right here. There we go. And then right here. And right there. There we go. That leg is... well, it's looking. Well, it's definitely looking. Now, whether good or not, it's a completely different question that you need to ask yourself. Nope, we haven't added any shading to it. To be fair, shading helps a lot for the model's look. You'd be surprised how much a model changes when you apply a shade to it. Hell, I'm surprised every time it happens. So let's see. So let's hold off any judgment and see how it looks once I get some shade on here. I'm just gonna make this gold detail here. I think it's supposed to be like a face growing out of his backpack, but it's gonna be gold. I cannot be bothered. It's going to be gold now. Look, it's gold now. Now we change this skull to also be gold. But due to the fact that we put a bone detail on it, we're probably going to have to paint it multiple times to get all the bone detail to not show up. Oh no, actually I kind of covered it pretty good. Yeah, I covered it kind of good. Still got a couple areas. I could use another coat, but not bad, not bad. I can live with that, for sure. Top carapace right to the armor. Make that gold as well, just so it matches a bit more copacetically. There we go, and there. See, now it matches a bit more. At least a little bit more. To this side as well. There we are. Beautiful. And now the skull. So see, if I would have left it the same color before instead of painting it bone, I'd cover over it pretty good. Mainly due to all the dark details on it, all the dark shading in it, because of it all being primed black in the first place. It makes it all show up pretty well. Hey, Black! I'm a little echoey because I'm far away from the mic at the moment. Just in case you were wondering. What you doing? Painting the model? Oh yeah, no, he's 3D printed. For sure. 100%! And he may be the exact model that Games Workshop sells. Perhaps. I'm not a lawyer, I can't say for certain, but... But you can't prove anything in a court of law, so what does it matter, huh? There we go. Nah, see? He came out pretty good, I think. Now I'm just doing the really annoying part of painting all the chaos trim detail, which I think is probably going to take up the rest of the whole stream of just painting this annoying trim detail. But you know, that's chaos, alright. I still have a shoulder pad right here I need to paint. Yep, I need a bit more gold. Fire opal. I tried doing a red dry brushing method on him, on the armor. I really should have just used a regular chop method with grays instead, and just paint and just used contrast paints to paint the red armor. That would have been a much better idea than what I did. I have made this exponentially harder on myself, Black. So it's gonna be a whole stream of painting one guy because I fucked up. But you know what they say about hindsight? And now he's just going to look ugly. Ugly. The shoulders are already painted? Not really. They're painted the red, but the trim detail hasn't been touched. Only the front side. I mean, that one shoulder hasn't been touched at all. I only just touched it now. Like, this is what he looks like for a total right now. Hold on. Getting all the base colors now. Looks like it came fresh from the printer. No. This came pretty much fresh from the printer. This is what fresh from the printer looks like. This guy has been primed. I dry brushed, oh, I'm talking about the shoulders? Oh yeah, no, the shoulders came straight, this model came pretty much in one sculpt. No, I touched them in terms of like, this red, I dry brushed the red on here. The red on all over the body, I dry brushed on here. But when it came together pretty much in one piece, except for the head, the backpack, and the arms. But the shoulder pads and the rest of the body were pretty much just one hunk. So I had to glue the arms into place, and I had to glue the backpack on and the head. But that was pretty much it. The rest of it came as is. Though they came out like black, like with a more of a dark plastic like this. Pretty much, yeah, pretty much an assembled piece. Though I think it's in less pieces than the original model. I'm pretty sure the original model is in far more pieces than this one was. So, you know, make of that what you will. Just gotta paint this underside here. Looks alright enough. I think they printed really well. Ah, fuck, I painted that. I didn't mean to paint that. Alright, now we're just getting the base colors down. I still haven't applied any shading to this at all. And I'm kind of just whipping out color ideas. And like I said, I really should have done a chop method instead of doing this. Because this was a really stupid way to do this. Because this was a really dumb way to do this, and it just increased the amount of time I'm spending on this model exponentially. If I had chop chopped it, I could have been done way quicker. Yeah, it could have been done way quicker if I would have chop chopped it, but I didn't. I didn't think it through. That's why I was thinking painting them before assembly. It depends on the model. More often than not, I assemble them all together, then prime them, then paint them. Because, like for this guy, there's not really places I can't reach with the paintbrush. So it's not really like a big issue for me to just paint some of the areas. But there are some that are that I did leave unassembled to make it a bit easier for me. This one's not one of them. This one's been fully assembled. Do that right there. Oh, this gauntlet needs gold. I just realized this gauntlet needs gold. Yeah, we're just gonna do some scream. We're just gonna do the flash and screamer pink. You know what? Fuck it. I'm overthinking it too much. We're gonna make it screamer pink. With some black in the recesses. There we go. Rocket. Rocket. Screamer pink. Here we go. Round like so. Round like this. And a little bit like that. And a little bit like so down here. Not gonna lie, this is gonna be frustrating as I can't reach those areas. A little bit, but it's just whatever you're used to. You know? Like, I usually paint like this, so I'm used to doing all this kind of stuff. So it don't bother me one bit. Though, this mouth in here, I would never be able to reach it, because I literally... This whole chest came out in one chunk. And this arm was attached to this model, so you would not be able to... I would not be able to make this model in the way that I could make it to this part anyway. So, you know, this part's gonna be a nightmare regardless. This part's gonna be a nightmare regardless of my wishes. Touch some areas with Screamer Pink and try to leave as much black as I can. There we go, get some screamer pink up here on his knuckles as well. Down here on his hand, there we go. Very pink man. Very pink man. Now his mouth. What should I do about his mouth? Galvor back red, Galvor back red. What's that? Galvor back red, you say? Where's my Galvor back red? There it is. Galvor back red. It will solve all of my problems. Oop, I grounded him on the side there. There we go. And then we're gonna dab, dab, dab. There we go. And now I'm gonna gently somehow get in here. The inside of that mouth. Look at that. All the way up in there. It opens up right into his chest. And there's a little bunch of tiny teeth down there I need to paint. Bunch of little tiny teeth. Little tiny teeth. Tiny teeth. Right. God, those teeth are so tiny. There's one in there too. Some around here too. There's one right there too. Look how tiny these teeth are. Look how tiny. Look how tiny they are. Like right in that chest area. Excuse me, let me touch you with my chest mouth. Excuse me, let me just touch you with my chest mouth. Funny. Very funny. I think I'm gonna make the carapace Galvor back red. There's little bits of carapace like all over the armor too, so I think I was gonna have to be Screamer pink. But I'm gonna make Galvor back red instead. And then this one here too. This one right here too. Oh, phone's running out of batteries. Right there. And then the fleshy bits will all be Screamer pink. There we go. There's a plate on their back hoof. Why is there a plate on their back hoof? What place for a carapace plate to be? You can't cut their Achilles tendon like that, bitch! You can dab that up. There we go. Yeah, these were choices. Yeah, these were definitely choices. Yeah, like I said, next time, I'm gonna change it to Chop Shop, and we're gonna use contrast paints. Because I cannot be bothered with all this gold detail. Cannot be bothered with all these details. The Crooked Man is a busy man. A busy and very lazy man. Oop. Dab that a little bit. And then we just gotta dab this up a little bit. There we go. So yeah. Let's paint the black cables with some Skaven Blight. And then call it a stream? We still have to shade this guy. But I am pretty much at the end of my time that I have for streaming. Both because it's past 10 and because my phone is dying. My phone is getting very close to dead. Unfortunately, I have to unplug it from its charging port, from its charging stand, in order to actually get enough, in order to actually get over here to record me. Which means that it's not, while I'm streaming, it's not charging my phone anymore. Which sucks. I think it's a tooth. I don't think it's a tube. I think it's a tooth. Oh well. There's a tube on the back. And there's a tube on his side here. There we go. Alright, what else? We'll touch up with a bit of the Galvor, or the Screamer Pink on the fleshy bits, and call it from there. I think there's... I think his chest area is supposed to be more Screamer Pink. There we go. And a bit up at the gums here. think we'll have to touch up those teeth. Maybe shading will handle it. We'll see. There we go. And so we got the tablet to finish painting, and then we got to touch up the head a lot. But beyond that, I think we're at a decent enough stopping point. I'll have to retouch up the head quite a bit. But it should be alright. We just need to basically finish up what basing detail there is. And then touch up some areas. Then shade it. Do some highlighting. And he'll be done. Which I'm just going to dry brush some highlight. I'm going to touch up some highlight details on it. I'm not going to try too hard on it. Alright, so that'll be it for the stream today. So far, this is what we got. Oh, and we got to paint his rock. I forgot about his rock. He looks hideous. In all the wrong ways. But you'll be shocked how much a model can be improved once the shading process is complete. Once the shading and highlighting process is complete. Peanut butter. You can never do a painting on a small scale like that? Oh, don't sell yourself short. It's not really a super complicated process. I'm not good at this at all. I can't paint period. I can't paint at all. What you guys think I'm some kind of painter? But look at people who paint in Warhammer, and you go for a minute, and I look like doo-doo in comparison to them. Absolute doo-doo. It's all just about trying, and not fussing about the details so much. I mean, not the details of the model, but just like the details of whether or not you look good in comparison to someone else. As long as you're having fun, right? It's all that matters. It's all that matters. I don't know why I'm cleaning this brush right now. I should be cleaning this brush after I raid out to someone. But I do appreciate your compliments, Peanut Butter. Perhaps next Wednesday we shall continue this process, unless something happens that catches my attention. I do have a bit of the tisms and get distracted very easily. Let's see, who's on Twitch right now that we can raid? Valdi's on. Let's see. Just Valdi? Oh no, we should raid Avalon. They're doing a charity event right now. I don't know much about this person in particular, but Rafina, a friend of mine, is part of their group. So I want to help. Chizu _ Coyote. Alright. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all. I hope you all had a good time watching me fumble my way through this model. And oh, Zen! You're just in time to leave. You're just in time, Zen. Get the fuck out. No, I'm late. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm just about to end stream. I'm sending you off to Chizu. Avalon is having a charity stream happening right now, so I would like to give them some support. But we're at the limit of what I can stream today. So, Friday we'll be doing seamless co-op with Ray. Ray, I do not believe has played Dark Souls 1 before, so we're gonna be doing seamless co-op with her, and I'm going to try to walk her through it and also walk her into many traps for my amusement. I hope everyone comes by and see that. I hope you all had a good time. I hope to see you all later. Goodbye.